Hey, what's up?
Boss, have you seen the new Jurassic World movie?
No?
You need to, and do a video on it.
We don't really do videos on new movies.
I don't care. Trust me, you have to do this.
Okay? Shit. I've got to make that video now.
So as you might have seen, a couple weeks ago we did a video about why the Jurassic Park sequels have never worked. A new sequel, Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom, was coming out, and looked like it was going to keep making the same mistakes all the other sequels had made. But I went to see it anyway, because I love dinosaurs and I hate myself. And then I ended up enjoying it more than I expected to. I wouldn't go so far as to call it a good movie, but it's interesting in ways none of the other Jurassic Park sequels have been. In the other video, I laid out some key points for what I think a good Jurassic Park sequel would need to do. So let's go through those points and see how this movie does. Point number 1, get the audience to empathize with the main characters. And point number 2, listen to Jeff Goldblum. I'm grouping these two together because they directly connect to the beginning of the movie. Fallen Kingdom does not do a great job here. The first scene of the movie is pure horror, showing us the dinosaurs as terrifying man-eating monsters, and then the next scene reveals that an active volcano is about to wipe them all out, and we have Jeff Goldblum, the voice of reason through the whole series, arguing that we should let nature run its course and allow the dinosaurs to die. And based on what we've seen so far, that seems like a pretty compelling argument. And then, we're introduced to Claire, one of our protagonists, who is leading an organization dedicated to saving the dinosaurs. We're supposed to empathize with her, but based on everything the movie has told us so far, we're not on her side. Why should we fight the will of nature and save these monsters? And then she and Chris Pratt go back to the island yet again, which, just like in every other sequel, is clearly a stupid idea. So, once again, the movie is repeating the same mistakes of every other Jurassic Park sequel. And how about the next point? Number 3, go in a new direction. Okay, here is where things change and get a lot more interesting. See, I still generally don't think Colin Trevorrow, who co-wrote this movie, knows what he's doing. The screenplay is kind of a mess, and the main characters are still boring and static, and there's no reason for us to care about them. But despite all of that, there are some weird, interesting ideas introduced that advance the whole Jurassic Park concept for the first time since the original movie. And obviously, major spoilers ahead. So Jurassic Park introduced the sci-fi concept of cloning dinosaurs, and then all any of the sequels really did with that was propose that this science could also be used to make hybrid dinosaurs. But Fallen Kingdom takes the idea further. It reveals that now a human has been cloned as well, which raises way bigger ethical questions, and also pushes the series further into science fiction. With the science they had, of course it was possible to clone humans before now, and I'm amazed it took them this long to get to it. Jurassic Park movies have had bad or greedy human characters before, but this is the first time it's introduced humans who were genuinely evil. It's the first Jurassic Park movie in which a human murders another human. Much of the second half of the movie involves a character clearly designed to resemble Donald Trump, auctioning off dinosaurs to a bunch of 80s action movie villains, so like Eastern European arms dealers and people like that. The movie proposes the idea that humans are actually bad, and we deserve to be destroyed by dinosaurs, these animals that have been created and manipulated against their will. Recently, film critic Alison Willmore wrote a great piece for BuzzFeed about how this movie fits into a recent trend of films and TV shows in which we empathize with the group, whether animals or robots, that is overthrowing humanity. There's a link to it in the description below. The defense of Jurassic Park 3 is always that it's just a fun B-movie, but no. This is the movie in the series that is a proper B-movie. It gives us billionaires buying dinosaurs to use as weapons. Jurassic Park is not some prestigious series with high standards. There was one great movie and then a bunch of increasingly bad sequels. The bar for the series is low. So yeah, at this point the best thing it can do is turn into a schlocky bit of bug nuts insanity. Give me cloned humans and dinosaurs eating billionaire supervillains. Okay, finally, point number 4. is to get the dinosaurs into human civilization. And so this movie does what I wanted it to do. It gets the dinosaurs off the island and into our world, and the end of the movie has the little clone girl releasing them into Northern California. As I'm watching this final montage of dinosaurs arriving to wipe us all out, I'm sitting there in the theater cackling with glee. The final shot of the movie is of a raptor on a hill overlooking the suburban development, looking like a conquering explorer. And it's implied that this isn't a temporary escape. This is a seismic shift in the world's status quo. Things will never be the same. Fallen Kingdom reminded me of my experience with Alien Covenant. Both were following up disappointing movies that were too steeped in nostalgia, too indebted to their original films. And then Fallen Kingdom and Covenant took hard turns away from that, moving into new thematic territory. And coincidentally, or not, both movies leaned into the gothic horror approach. Fallen Kingdom is by no means as good as Alien Covenant. It lacks a central character even a third as interesting as David. But both films recognize that if you're going to keep making sequels to series that should have stopped years ago, you should do something new, and not just be a bunch of reheated leftovers. So even though I like parts of The Lost World and Jurassic Park 3, Fallen Kingdom is the only sequel in the series that actually feels like an expansion of the ideas presented in the first movie. The series started out having people with good intentions creating something bad. And now here, we have bad people taking advantage of those creations and all of humanity being punished for it. And while I'm mostly discussing the ideas and structure of the movie, I do need to mention that it's really, really well made. Considering that the script steers into gothic horror territory, it helps that they hired J.A. Bayona, a director who knows how to direct horror. He knows how to use light and shadow to create suspense and terror. The opening scene alone is better than the entire previous movie. And throughout the film, there's a whole collection of beautifully staged set pieces, both small and large, that are the best the series has seen since Spielberg was working on it. And importantly, Bayona remembers the key rule of Jurassic Park, that it's at its best when it's nighttime and raining. So look, this movie still isn't especially good. It still keeps stupidly trying to turn the T-Rex into a superhero, and I'm never going to care about Owen or Claire or Blue the Velociraptor. But for the first time in 25 years, it actually does something interesting with the dinosaurs and introduces some fascinating new ideas, even if it doesn't entirely know what to do with them. And sadly, as much as I like where this movie leaves off, I have little to no hope for the next one since Trevorrow is back directing again. Oh, all right, we're done.
Hey, what are you shooting?
Oh, just this video about the new Jurassic World movie.
I thought we didn't do videos about new movies.
I mean, no, not usually, but...
You realize what a slippery slope this is, don't you, Pat? We don't want to become one of those movie review channels.
I know, you're right, but the views...
Patrick, this isn't about the views. This is about doing what we care about. This channel, it used to be nothing but us making movies. And how many of those have we made this year? When was the last time we put Jake in a horribly ill-fitting superhero costume?
It's been a couple years.
Yeah, it has. So maybe we should stop talking about movies and actually make one.
You're right. Hey Jake, where the fuck is that script? We got a friggin' thing to make.
Oh, I'm just finishing it up now. I'm almost done.